It's getting cold outside, the days are getting shorter, and it's time to hibernate for the winter. While yes, this is the season of holidays, family, soups, and staying inside, this season is the worst for drone pilots. There's not really a good time to go out and fly. You're just sitting in the cold, your fingers freeze on the controller, the batteries don't work properly when they get cold, and with how unpredictable the wind can be, it's just not a fun time. Yes, you can hop on a drone simulator and keep your skills up, but there's a difference in the feeling you get when flying a simulator versus a real drone. That's where this drone comes in, the BetaFPV Air 75 Tiny Whoop. I think this little drone is the solution to the winter blues and not being able to really fly until spring. Stick around to the end of the video for a special gift from my subscribers. In this video, I will be unboxing the drone and going over the specs, setting it up, doing some indoor and outdoor test flights, and sharing my thoughts on why you need to pick up this drone specifically for winter, but also why every drone pilot needs this in their drone collection. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and consider supporting me on Patreon if you enjoy this type of content. Let's get into it. BetaFPV did send me this drone to review. They are not paying me for this review, and they do not get to see the video before I publish it. The links down below are affiliate links, so if you purchase anything through these links, it will give me commission, which does help to support this channel. Let's get this box open and see what's inside. First things first, you've got your goodie bag, but we will come back to that later. Then you've got your extra canopy for the drone camera that is adjustable. Then you've got the drone itself, and this thing is a beauty. It feels so stinking sturdy in your hands. I was honestly impressed. I thought it was going to be super flimsy, and it's not. Then you've got your product card with your QR code that you can scan on the back, and time for the goodie bag. It's a moment we've all been waiting for. So you'll get some screws in order to replace screws on the drone if you need them. You've got your dongle cable, and then you've got your actual dongle itself. Then you've got the gem fan props that come with it. You only get one extra set of props. And then BetaFPV did send me some additional frames. This does not come with your stuff, and they also sent me some batteries for testing it out. This drone is ultra light at 21 grams. It has the new Air G473 4-in-1 flight controller, onboard 5.8 gigahertz, 25 to 400 milliwatt VTX. It uses 1S 450 milliamp hour BT 2.0 batteries and boasts a flight time of 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It has GemFan 40 millimeter two blade props and 0802 SE 23,000 kV motors. The canopy for the camera can be adjusted from 25 to 50 degrees. The camera is the CO3 camera. The price is $94.99 for the ELRS version and $124.99 for the TBS version. But there might be a way you can get it for cheaper. More on that later. Let's set this thing up. So the first thing that we have to do, which is what we have to do with every single drone the second that we get it, is connect it to our controller and then set it up in Betaflight. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You do have to use the included dongle and adapter in order to connect this drone. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do not like this part of the process because I do not like these little dongles, but they do work. And I've got a bunch of them now at this point, so I won't be losing all of them anytime soon. But you're just going to plug it into the drone and then take your USB-C cable and plug that in, and you should get some lights. And we do have lights, so we are good to go. It said, do you want to connect this to the computer? We do. And look at that. We have a drone on the computer screen. So the first thing that I'm going to do is connect it to my controller with Crossfire.
Welcome to HTX.
We're going to set it up. TBS Agent Light. Micro TX. Ooh, this is putting off some heat. I probably need a fan for this. Oh, look at this. Boom, got a fan. I always like using a fan because it just cools things off. Hopefully you can't hear with this microphone, but I'm sure you can. But we'll go to bind, and then we will poke the Crossfire button down here. There it is. All right, should be binding. Yes, we are going to update it, and then we'll just sit here and wait. So this fan probably is not necessary for this. I do know that like updating the DJI OG Air unit, you had to use a fan and stuff. And I just like keeping a fan on these things when they're plugged in, because I don't ever want to burn a VTX or anything like that. So just better safe than sorry. Okay, so now we are bound to the controller. What I will do though is whenever I go to the TBX Agent Lite, I'll wait until the Nano RX V3 shows up. You can't really see that. Yeah, you can see it. Nano X V3. I'll click that and then I'll go in and I'll change the amount of channels that I can have. So it's automatically on 8 channels. I like mine to have 12 channels. And then you can change your failsafe and all of that stuff, but everything else is normally fine. So now if you look on the computer over here, you can see that we've got the throttle, we've got yaw, pitch is correct, and then roll. So we are good to go on that. Let's set up the different modes and such on how I like them. So go over here. Arm is aux 1. Angle is set to aux 2. We're going to change that because I don't do that. So we're going to change it to this switch here. So we're going to go auto. We're going to flip it. It's aux 3. So we've got angle mode, which is the top. Don't like that. We're going to make angle mode the middle. So that's there. And then horizon mode is going to be auto, and we're going to take that to aux 3, and we're going to push that all the way. I really don't ever use horizon mode, but it is a good mode for when you're learning, and so is angle. I do use angle a lot whenever I'm doing fly-throughs and drone tours and things like that, but not all the time. But I will say I do use angle more than I use horizon. I don't know if I've ever used horizon. We'll go and set up the beeper to this button, auxiliary 6. And then we've got flip over after crash, which is going to be auxiliary, whatever this one is. I think it's 4. So we'll set that to auto. Auxiliary 4. You got it. Pre-arm. We don't necessarily need a pre-arm for one of these little guys. I don't like using the pre-arm, but launch control, acro trainer, like there's so many things that you can do on this little drone right here. But we've set up what we need to. We're going to hit save. Excuse me. We're going to hit save. And then we're going to go to not configuration, PID tuning right here. So we're not going to change any of the PID tunes, but we are going to change the rate profiles. So this is rate profile 1. We're going to leave this as the BetaFPV just stock settings that it comes with. And then I'm going to change them to what I like mine. So we're going to go to rate profile 2, and we're going to change this to, I don't even know what my rates. Oh, we're 800. That's what we're going to do. Go 800, and then we'll take our pitch down to 720. And then we'll do like 0.15 expo. I think this is how I've got everything set up. I'll have to check on my other quads. And then center sensitivity, I think I do 120. And this is all for rate profile setting 2. We're not going to do any throttle stuff. And we'll save that. Then we're going to go down to adjustments, and this is where I'm going to change this switch right here to the different PID tunes, or the different rates that I've got on here. So we'll enable it when channel, oh goodness, I forgot which receiver. What is this one? aux 2. Okay. So we're going to go if enabled, aux 2. We're going to keep that there. We're going to just set that up a little bit. We're going to do PID rate profile selection, aux 2. And then we're going to enable this one as well, aux 2, rate profile selection, aux 2. And we're going to change this to the middle right here. Yep. So then we've got our 2 different rates set up, and the way you can test this after you click save is you can go back to your PID tuning, you can select your rate profile, and then you can toggle between it and it'll change it. So there we go. And so we'll keep it there. Other than that, I believe that is it. You want to look at your video transmitter just to see what, band and channel it's on. Oh, it's only on 25 power watts. I don't need that. I didn't know what it was set to start off with. If I was, doing like 400 or something, then I would absolutely need that fan. But I've got mine on channel 1 because that's what my other drones are on. You can change it to whatever you want. It'll be fine. And then that's pretty much all you have to do, and you are ready to go. So I'll go charge up some batteries, and we'll get a test flight in. Okay, let's plug this thing up and test it out. I did put it on the same video channel as I put my other analog drones in, so it should just pop right in. Here we go. This is the first flight with the BetaFPV Air 75. Here we go. Everything's good. We're keeping it on the BetaFPV rates. Okay. All right. Woo! Oh, she quick. Yeah, this thing does feel very, very good. Very good. Okay, just a little tap, got to break it in. I'm always crashing my drone, so oh, it's not a Johnny TFPV video without some crashing, but so far so good. This thing feels fantastic. I realize that I keep hitting the ground. I'm not giving it enough throttle because I'm trying to make sure I don't launch it into the ceiling, because this thing feels like it just has so much power. Just hit a cable there. Oh, yes, sir, indeed. Yeah, no, I'm very much so enjoying this. This drone is freaking sweet. It feels like it's just got so much power in it. Like a ton of power. So I really like that, because I can fly slow, but then I also feel like, for freestyle stuff, this is going to be really nice, honestly. Yeah, this thing is sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. All right, now let me test out the different modes. We've got angle and horizon, so we'll go angle first. This is angle mode. Stock settings, angle mode is kind of, it's not strong enough for my liking, meaning like I'm having to push the controller too far forward, push the pitch too far forward. Now let's try the horizon. This is horizon, and well, I've never liked horizon, but it works. Let's go back to manual or acro. Let's get the terminology correct. But yeah, this thing, it's good stuff. I need to work on my right turns again. Oh, just nailed that camera. But she still lives, so yeah, I'm very much so impressed by this drone. Oh, just went right through it. Oh, all right, sick. I feel like that was a fantastic first test flight. I'm excited to take it outside and see what we can do with it. All right, so before we go outside and fly this and test it out in the outdoors, I need you to hear this. Okay, Google, what's the temperature outside?
In Louisville, it's currently 49 degrees.
Yeah, that is way too cold to be outside flying, which is why I love these little guys, because you can fly them inside. But we need to see how this performs outside, and so I'm going to brave the cold for you guys in order to do it. But I will say, if I was to wake up in the morning and want to go flying and hear that, there's no way I'm going outside. But let's do it. All right, so I'm going to be honest with you. This is an absolutely terrible day to be flying. It is cold out here. It is windy. We've got storms rolling in. It's wet. It's miserable. And I mean, honestly, if I didn't have to do this review, I would not be out here flying at all. But I will say, if you do have to fly outside, I'm going to put you on some game real quick. All right, see these gloves right here? These have been an absolute game changer for me. So if you notice, it's got different finger holes that you can open and close. And for drones, I need my thumb and my finger, but I don't want the rest of my hand to be cold. So these are some fishing gloves. I'll put the link down in the description. I'm not affiliated with this company whatsoever. Really any fishing gloves will work, but these things are awesome because they cover up your fingers, and then whenever you need to fly, you can just pop up your pinky and your thumb, or just your thumb if you're a thumber, and you're good to go. All right, let's fly before I freeze to death. And I know what you're thinking. It's only 49 degrees. Yes, but it is windy and it is wet, and I don't want to be out here. So here we go. All right, we are just about set up. Here's the little guy that we're going with today. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have high hopes for this drone to perform well in these conditions because of how windy that it actually is. I really wouldn't bring anything out on a windy day like this other than a 5-inch drone. But this is what it's all about. We're just gonna test it and see what we can do with it. So we're just gonna slide the battery in. And also, I really need to change the color of this frame. They sent me extra frames, and so I really want to experiment with those. So, and the batteries are cold, which is not good either. They don't fly as long whenever they're cold. So, today's just gonna be full of tests, and the goggles do work. We're going to go ahead and hit record on those. We are going to turn on the controller, flip all my switches. Woo. All right, let's get these gloves on. And it really is just so nice because I do just use my pointer finger and my thumb whenever I fly. So we can open these up, and it's even good for, controlling the drone. I can plug it in and not have any issues, and the drone's definitely not going to be getting hot today. I can promise you that much. So let's see. Okay, we've got video signal, we've got crossfire, and let's fly. That wind! Oh, goodness. This is going to be a very interesting test flight. I kind of want to wait for the wind to die down for a second before I take off, but also at the same time, I kind of just want to send it. So I guess let's just send it. Here we go. Okay, it's actually performing. I'm not mad at it. The wind obviously is definitely playing a role in it, but this thing's got enough power to where I don't know if the wind is too much of a factor. I know it will come into play whenever I start, flipping and doing dives and stuff like that. But so far, I mean, we're definitely getting pushed around. Like, that's not even a question. I'm going to question a bit. I'm a little bit far. I don't know if I have this on the right channel. But yeah, the wind is definitely pushing it, but you still can. I mean, truly, I'm flying. Like, we're just chilling. I'm not doing anything crazy. Just because, once again, this wind is insane. But okay, I just felt it die down for a second. So let's try some flippy flips or something. Let's go. Let's just do a power loop through this playground right here. We'll go through. And we power looped, kind of. I definitely felt the wind take me on that. Oh, these trees around here are not looking good. So precision flying is not happening right now. But if you're just learning, or if you're just wanting to go out and fly for a second, like, it definitely works. Oh, almost hit that. All right, so the wind is it's just carrying. The wind is it's just carrying us all over the place. But yeah, it does fly outside. I would definitely do it on a less windy, non-stormy day. But as you can see, we're getting it. So I think I'm going to end this test flight and go home and go back to flying inside because it's cold and I don't want to be out here anymore. But the answer is yes, you can fly it outside. If you want to see videos of me flying it outside more, there'll be more on social media and such. But yeah, for right now, this is what we're working with. So I'm impressed. I actually am impressed at how well it handled the wind. Because this thing is so light, it just doesn't want to perform the proper way being outside. But it did good. I mean, it was not, it was able to fly, which is all that I could ask for, honestly, on a day like this, when truly would not bring anything less than a 5-inch out here. So let's go back to the house and we'll talk about this drone some more. For the pros, we're going to start off with the durability of this drone. I'm going to be honest, this frame feels super sturdy. The ducts can be squished a little, which is fine, but when you squeeze the actual frame that is supporting all the electronics, it feels solid. And I was honestly super impressed. The power of this drone is insane as well. I did not realize you could have so much power in such a tiny drone. It really grips the air when flying. And if I'm being honest, I thought about putting a throttle limit on it for flying inside, but in all reality, I prefer the full power. Which then brings me to the PID tune and the stock rates. The tune is so nice and it flies so smooth without any shake, and the stock rates are fantastic. I changed mine because I like them a little more sensitive, but honestly, if I would have gotten this drone 6 months ago, I wouldn't have changed the thing. As I've discovered, I like more sensitive rates now. The camera actually looks fantastic. Compared to some of the other analog cameras I've used on Tiny Whoops, this one outperforms them, and I'm now wanting to switch all of my Tiny Whoops over to this CO3 camera. The right angle adapter for the battery is a game changer. If a Tiny Whoop doesn't have this, you have to essentially slide the battery back to plug it in and then position it so the drone is balanced. But with this drone, that is not an issue. The customization is really nice. They offer different colored frames and canopies to be able to customize the drone to fit your style, which allows you to put that personal touch on the drone. And honestly, are you even really a drone pilot if you don't put some crazy colors on your drone? The last and probably the biggest thing is the price. For under $100, this is an absolute steal and gives you the freedom of knowing if you do absolutely destroy this drone, it won't be expensive to replace the whole thing. Plus, it is able to be repaired and you can solder everything back together. But if you don't want to do that, you can just scratch the whole drone and buy a new one for relatively cheap. And for the cons, this is always my issue with the recent BetaFPV drones, and I'll say it over and over again, but I hate the dongle. On this drone, it makes a little bit more sense with wanting it to be as light as possible, so it's not as bad on this drone, but like the Pavo 20 Pro that I just reviewed, it's so annoying. I do wish you could change the camera angle a little bit lower. I know most people are fine with 25 degrees and would probably want more like 35, 45, 50, which it can do, but I prefer to fly at 10 or 15 degrees. This is, however, personal preference, and honestly, it's just a comfort issue for me and might indicate that I need to improve my skills, which I do. Now for my final thoughts and a gift for all of you amazing subscribers. This drone is perfect for everything inside this winter. I know for me in the winter, my drone flying always slows down because there's only about one time a month where I'll get the courage to actually go outside in the freezing temperatures to fly. Unless I'm doing it for a job, then I'm always down to go outside. And to be able to have a fast drone that can do freestyle maneuvers, race, and be super durable for crashes that I can fly from the comfort of my sofa under a blanket is a huge deal. It not only allows me to practice my flying, but also allows me to push my skills and continue to grow them. I know I preach simulators a lot, but there is just something about flying a physical drone and that adrenaline rush you get that a simulator cannot compete with. And for the price, how could you not pick this up? Speaking of the price, the drone is $94.99, but I talked to BetaFPV and they gave me an exclusive code for all of my subscribers that will give you 20% off their entire store. Use the code JT24BF for 20% off of everything on the BetaFPV website. Now, this code is only valid from November 21st, which is today, to December 2nd. So you need to jump on it quick. This means that you can essentially buy the drone and get a 4-pack of batteries for free. The awesome thing is that this code is good for anything on their website, not just this drone, which honestly, I might be using it for myself to buy another drone I've been wanting, but I'll have to consult with my accountant and see if I'm allowed to buy any more drones this year. And honestly, a huge thank you to all of you all who have watched these reviews and supported the channel. I would not have companies like BetaFPV sending me products to review if it weren't for you all. So I cannot thank you all enough, and it truly means the world to me whenever you all reach out and comment on videos and that I'm actually doing something that is helping with your purchases. So what do you think about the Air 75? Is it the perfect drone for winter? And are you going to be picking one up? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this content, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon if you're enjoying this content in order to get videos like this every single week.